Welcome to Members Only, a show centered around CMAC members and the projects they produce. My name is Johnny Pacina, and I'll be your host for today. In this edition of Members Only, we'll be talking to Kayla Moon, the producer of the show American Culture Shock and the Best of the West competition, and Alvin Areizaga and Anita Fernandez, the producer of World's Most Awesome Music Show. First up is Kayla Moon, the producer of the show American Culture Shock and the Best of the West.
Hello? Can y'all hear me? Hello? This is a recording live from the undergrounds of nowhere, everywhere. House of Jupiter rendition. If you can hear me, please transmit. If you can hear me, please transmit on the street. This is straight from the revolution. See, revolution had been rising like old man using Viagra, but you see, no one had the guts to fuck her like she wanted them to. See, there's the infinity of patriarchs with their hearts on, walking around, flexing, showing off how big their dicks are, bouncing them around for each other like we care. See, revolution said, I want you inside me. Revolution says, I want you to germinate me. Come on, Papa. Revolution says, impregnate me with your truth. My children are lost, looking for their parent. These wandering spirits in search of their tribes. Revolution says, bring them all home, Papa, with your big dick and fuck the bullshit out of your rage. Or they may never hear the song of love, says the revolution. Alright, I'm done.
Welcome back, folks. Kayla, thank you for being here today.
Thank
and
you.
I also got to thank you for letting me wear your jacket, because
No
it is
worries.
very cold in the studio. At least to me it was, or it is. And yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
We gotta keep you looking fresh, Johnny.
Thank you. I do need that, actually. I have a terrible sense of style sometimes. So, but hey, again, thanks for being here. And you know, it looks like you're a very active person. You're doing all sorts of things, especially based on that highlight video. You're all over. Some of those places look somewhat familiar. And so tell the viewers a little bit about your show and what you actually do in American Culture Shock.
Sure, yeah. Well, my show is American Culture Shock, and you know, it really came out of the need. I'm a very, very creative person. If I don't have creative outlets, bad things happen, bro.
Gotta keep yourself busy, right?
Yeah, dude. So, you know, I've always been a creator. I've always needed a sense of community. And, you know, through video footage and getting out there, I can really, you know, work on my activism and be active in what I love doing, really. So, American Culture Shock, it just focuses in on issues within the community, you know, highlighting things like the California drought, geoengineering. Right now, I mean, I've made 2 documentaries, which has been really cool. So yeah, the past year has been just like super packed. I mean, really an awesome experience, you know?
That's great, yeah. That's what we like to promote here too at CMAC, as you know, probably already know, television and video is a very powerful medium, and it's a great way to express yourself, your ideas, in the way you were doing it too. You were interviewing experts, it looked like. There was like as you mentioned, the drought. You were talking to a gentleman who was an expert in that, right? So
Yeah.
that's great. So how long, well, and another thing I'd like to promote for our members and everyone watching too is that you don't necessarily have to make CMAC programming it to be aired here. And what Kayla did, she came in and you already had stuff. You filmed stuff already. And I don't think we promote that as much, but I'd like to get that out there. So tell us a little bit about how, I guess, the process was in creating it on your own without CMAC, but then eventually finding CMAC.
Totally. I don't really work well like under authority. Like it's just like difficult for me to like function in that type of environment. So I really like doing independent stuff. Like I love collabing with other people, you know, but like if it's like for a boss, if there's a deadline, like that's just not really me, you know? So I got into independent journalism, which is a lot of the stuff on my show. It's like multimedia journalism. I mean, I've interviewed people that have been covered by the New York Times, you know, I've talked to ex-CIA members, like people that I've communicated with have had their magazines and their work spread out around the world, you know, and I love highlighting just artists, you know, bright-minded people, people that are out there really fighting for a better world, you know, because there's a lot of stuff that's just messed up right now, and you know, I think that there is a power in media, there is a power in getting your creative juices together and really putting out a clear product, you know, or just like a story where people can relate to and learn from. That's really important to me. So
Yeah, definitely, and I'm glad we can be of service to you, providing you any assistance you need, whether it's a, you know, eventually. I know you've also done some volunteering too as well, right? So talk about what you volunteered on so far. I know even our last episode, Tiffany, we were just talking about you. You worked on that show. In what capacity were you working on that show?
Well, you know, the thing I love about CMAC, it's all these brilliant creative people from the community that just like have these awesome ideas and just want to like work on projects, you know. It's totally fun. I think it's a huge blessing for Fresno to have this type of resource, because it's really allowing artists to take their work seriously, and have you know, a resource that values their work. And I think that's one thing that Fresno as a whole, you know, like there needs to be a shift that needs to happen, you know, in the way that they value and appreciate their artists, because a lot of times artists go out there and like have this amazing work, these amazing products, and it's just like completely undervalued, you know, because it's not in a corporate package. So I just suggest to everyone out there, like business owners, support your artists, give them the resources they need, you know. Same with, you know, just like different galleries, like it's not just like an event, you know, like it's something like CMAC and getting people to come together, like that's not just a once a month thing. It's more of like an actual lifestyle that needs to be appreciated and taken seriously, because, you know, creatively, I've lived up and down California, and I feel like the Central Valley, specifically Fresno, has some of the most like soul and the most amazing art that's coming from the right place, you know, whether that's, and when I say art, it's like music, you know, painting, whatever your medium is, you know, like it's raw. And the reason for that being, I personally believe, is the fact that like for so long we haven't had these resources, for so long we have been ignored, and it's just to the point where artists do this simply just to like survive, because it's who they are, you know. And it's like, so I'm really thankful for CMAC, because it opens the doors to the artist, to the creative thinker, to, you know, someone who has maybe been sitting on a project for like 5 years or whatever and just never had someone appreciate those ideas, you know. So CMAC's a great resource, definitely.
I couldn't have put it any better. I mean, and that's one of the things we always love to really, we're proud of being an organization where we can be a resource for many people who may never even have access to cameras like this. You know, these are all industry standard things, and we want to make sure that the community has access to it, not just some big studio that has an unlimited budget. At times it almost seems like, you know, so people can actually get real industry experience at the same time in terms of knowing the equipment and the know-all. And it's pretty kind of a rare thing for a lot of people to be able to do that. So you are one of the members that definitely get it. And you know, new members who may be like, I'm not sure how I can utilize CMAC, or why would I do it? Well, when you think about those things you were describing, like, you know, it's a way to express yourself, and you don't have to be a local news station to broadcast news stories about your community. A lot of the things, whether intentionally or not, just stories go missing. Artists' work goes missing because there's no way for people to look at it, whether it's online in a video or even in something here at CMAC, like a studio show. So,
this is also a great way to like archive your work, you know.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think that's also important as well, is to really, like just value your work, value what you believe in, and in exchange, you know, like your community will start to begin to
Yeah,
understand
exactly.
how to value. You know, like we have to really like redefine how people in Fresno view artists and resources like these. You know, and I mean, going to college, like you can learn these courses here at CMAC in like under a month
Yeah,
or so,
it's true.
and you could spend like semesters trying to get this knowledge, and you're like the hands-on
Yeah.
experience. So
Well, yeah, and it's all comes with the expertise of our staff, and you know, there's always stuff new, and we're always trying to get the latest and greatest for everyone too. So you will definitely, we're never going to be outdated in a sense, I guess you could say. We're always going to be up to speed with everything. So if anyone has any questions, we have people like Kyle, who's really well-rounded. Hi, Kyle. He's back there. He's our floor director. Thanks for filling in. Really, it's just the possibilities are endless, and like you're saying, you know, school is nice, and even so, though, some students even come here because they realize you only have 24 hours in the day, and you only have so much of a semester to get your work done and to get a grade. Come here and learn even more, you know, even if you want to be a media student or help someone who isn't really media savvy but wants to have a show, and they know they want to have a show. So what I want to do, Kayla, is kind of take it back a little bit. We want to know what inspired you to start, because, you know, you seem very passionate about your work as an artist. What was there like an aha moment, or was there something that you were just like, you know, what really gave you the spark?
Okay, so pretty much what gave me the spark, like I said, I've always been like, had this really creative drive. I was going to school, I mean, I was just like drowning in student debt, thought I was gonna just like, my ideas weren't being, like that exchange of value wasn't happening, you know? And in order for someone to like continue creating and feel valued in their work, there has to be an exchange between like the audience or the community members or people involved. And so just getting into video, I mean, I've had just so much support, and
Awesome.
it's just been a really fun journey. I've done 2 documentaries. I have like over 20
Excellent.
episodes, and
Yeah.
it's like a niche that I really vibe with. So.
Yeah, and thank you for all your content, and you know, we're definitely going to be everything up and running soon here. We got a lot of episodes from you, so we do appreciate the content.
Awesome,
So,
totally.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla, for
Johnny.
being here. Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
totally.
And thanks for the jacket again.
Yes, dude.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Alvin, Areizaga, and Anita Fernandez, the producers of World's Most Awesome Music Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, so We'll explain why that just happened in a bit, but basically, well, are we going to show a highlight first?
Yeah,
Let's do that. Okay. We'll check out the highlight for World's Most Awesome Music Show, and we'll talk to the producers after.
I like it okay. But job situation's kind of hard, but times are tough all over, right?
Yeah, they really are. Times are tough all over.
So you live in the Tire District? How do you like that?
You know, really, it's not for everyone, but I've grown to really like it. There's always something going on. Like, there's always a parade for special events. And the music is great. There's so many talented musicians.
As you see here, we have Alvin and Anita, producers of World's Most Awesome Music Show, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, yes.
It's a
So it's gone
mouthful.
through some transitions in the title there.
Yeah,
So
it's
let's talk
evolving.
about what just happened a little bit here. Well, basically, Anita is amazing. She is like Superwoman.
Yes.
She's one of outstanding volunteers here. She just recently won an award at our CMAC Members Appreciation. And the reason why she was getting back to her seat in that manner was that she was actually operating one of the cameras from the previous interview. So that's really amazing. You can do it all.
Yeah.
And thank you for being on the show today, you guys. Really appreciate it. Alvin, you were
Thank
just as
you.
amazing too. We appreciate all the content you have. So let's
Thank
talk
you,
a little
thank you.
bit about the shows we do. We've done a number of shows, but I'm sure our members are really curious about that clip they just saw with Mystery Date. So
Yeah.
talk about the production of that, how all that went down.
I'll let Anita start because
Okay.
she did come up with the whole premise.
She was the
of it.
concept? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd had this idea for a script and wrote the script out, but I didn't have anyone to star in it. And then I saw Alvin just kind of on another shoot, and he was just kind of messing around with doing some physical things on this gym, and I said, okay, that's the guy. So
Comedy.
that was it.
You're really good at it.
Yeah, he
It's
is.
awesome, yes. Yeah, I enjoyed the concept, and appreciate you, just doing all of the production into it. I saw the work you guys had into it, and to have all those, because you did what we called ISO cameras, right, for that, right? Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
Isolated cameras. So what that is, for those of you who don't know, is that every studio camera was recording separately its own footage, as opposed to just cutting with all the cameras. So Anita had recorded with all those cameras and took all that footage, collected it, and edited it in such a way to make a really funny show, in my opinion. And definitely watch out for that on our channels, those of you who are watching. So how long has, bringing it back to you, Alvin, a little bit, for your music show and how long you've been a member, how long has World's Most Music Show been on air? And also explain what that show is.
I'd say we've done about 5 episodes, and it's not like something that we continuously do, but it is. I love music, and I like to do music shows. So whenever I find a nice band or somebody to come on, then I'll pick it back up. And
Awesome.
it started with my brother. He promotes shows in like clubs here in Fresno, and his name of his group is World's Most Entertainment, and that's where we came up with the name. World's Most Music Show. But just like in playing with it and just the evolution of it, he didn't show up for one, he wasn't able to make it, so I was kind of like, well, let's switch it up then, change the name, and the music that we had on the show is a little bit different than the music we'd had before. And so that brought about the change of it. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and I was just like, World's Most Awesome Music Show.
Yeah,
And
and
it sounded great to me.
I'm sure you guys would agree in this too, but that's kind of the beauty of being able to do a show here at CMAC is that, you can have a game plan. It's not always kind of unfortunate when it falls through, it's like, oh, someone didn't show up or someone didn't do this and that. But really, like as we're doing today, as we described, we're doing a skeleton crew, meaning, we have limited people to do a show, but you could still get it done. We're getting it done with how many people now? 5, I think, today, and we're doing a great job, in my opinion. You can do that too as a member, and you guys have already had experience with that too.
Oh, yeah.
So what I asked Kayla in the last interview too, what I really wanted to get to know, kind of picking her brain and your guys' too, is what inspired you to start and wanted to start doing video production at CMAC? I'll start with you, Alvin.
Well, one, I didn't even know CMAC existed 2 years ago, and I heard that it was here in Fresno that you can learn production, you can learn camera, you can learn writing, just all the stuff that has to do with media. And immediately my mind just started imagining me being a cameraman, going like to Africa, working on documentaries, just helping people out, traveling the world, doing camera work. And so I was here like a day or two after I learned about CMAC, and I was a member, and I was already volunteering within doing the classes.
You just wanted to be involved, huh?
Yeah, yeah. To me, it's like this great gem that's just right here in Fresno, and you can do just so much here. The opportunities are just like, and every day I come here, I'm like, oh yeah, we can do
new
all
ideas,
this stuff.
new possibilities.
And that was one thing I was talking with my friends is like, where before we'd be like, oh, that's cool, that'll be cool to do that, or oh, that's funny, huh? Well, now we're actually putting it to paper, and we can do it.
That's a common problem I have with me and my friends. We know we want to film something and do something funny, so like we talk about it, it's in conversation, we come up with the idea, we're like, write that down because we need to go to CMAC or and film that somehow, record that. So Anita, what was your inspiration to start?
Well, I had gone to film school for 2 years, and then I came back to Fresno, and I saw an ad, and it was when CMAC was very first starting. And I thought, well, I wanted to see what it was about because I had an idea that maybe it was something I could use to put into practice the theory I had learned. And so, yes, yes, it is, yes.
Yes, it became something, right?
Yes.
That's
and that's the answer usually, yes.
And you're, again, one of those members where you rarely say no when it comes to volunteering. So yes is definitely your phrase there.
Yes.
Yeah. So we always hope, in hopes of creating this, it's a multifaceted thing. We hope that people learn how to operate cameras, how to direct. It's everyone. For those of you, again, who are watching, it's their first time. Yeah, exactly, editing. So there's a number of benefits we get from creating this show. So with that in mind, if we have any new potential members, those of you watching on TV or online, what are some advice you guys can give to people who are just starting here?
I would say volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. You're going to get experience in all aspects of it because some people need a cameraman or some people need you to use be a technical director, TD or floor person, and you might think you're coming here to do camera, but then you can get experience in all these other places.
Yeah, definitely. What would you?
That's what I'd say.
Well, for me, I think learning how to work with a team is a really important thing because everyone's got an ego, and but you can learn how to put into a show or a production what you feel and what you think, and yet have a lot of people working on that show. And when you mix it all together, it's like a wonderful stew, It comes out, everything is different, but your idea comes out, and it's really awesome being able to work with people like that.
Definitely, yeah. And I always hear from other members and some of you guys too, is that it's a good environment to be in because no one's really going out to make, some big, no one's under any stress, I guess you could say, because they're not out there to really sell it or things like that. Everyone's having fun, right? It's a really relaxed environment. You may, like you were saying, there's some people that have certain ideas and they want to stick to it, and you're just going on the ride with them, right? And and there's you could always do it again. No one's holding you to it. We're not. We have the capabilities of doing live productions, which we do sometimes, but other than that, if you're not doing something live,
cool.
just do it again. Have fun with it.
Sure.
Take your time with it. Everyone has busy lives. We know this might not be the only thing you're doing, but you can manage. If you manage your time, we're open on weekends. You can come in and just do your thing. So
yeah, everybody here is a volunteer, and so you're not coming to a place where somebody doesn't want to be here.
Right.
They want to learn and they want to have fun, and this is where they come to do it.
Yeah,
so it's a great place here. You meet a lot of great people.
That's a really nice thing to know, especially for new members. It's like, oh yeah, these people are here and the regulars are here because they want to be. They're not just here because it's someone's forcing me.
Not at all. Not at all.
So what's the next for both of your shows, Alvin? What do you think and I liked your last episode, by the way. I love the band. That was a great band.
Yeah. And it's thanks to Anita. She played a big part in that.
Yeah, awesome.
In getting the talent. I have a skit that I'm working on. I just finished writing, and I'm gonna have Anita and some other members here
Awesome.
be a part of it.
Okay.
And it's a little comedy thing. I don't want to
Looking
give
forward
up too
to
much.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay. All right.
we'll say it's a mix of Eastern and Western philosophies. I'll just leave it as that.
Okay. All right. I can kind of imagine it now. All right. So Anita, what's next for you? I know you're always an active volunteer, but what do you have any ideas coming up here?
Yeah, I am beginning to film music a lot.
Great.
And it's kind of like we're switching places and we go back and forth. You know? But I'm
Yeah.
beginning to film a lot of music, and I'm thinking I would like to have a production of my own and call it Just Music, and
Great.
have local bands featured.
There's a lot of, like in your situation, and that's why I think we kind of have the format of the show like this. We have an interview with one producer and then two producers afterwards. The two producer thing is not just by random. Teams are forming at CMAC.
Right.
There's sometimes two minds come together, create something great, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes not even two. We might even start expanding and getting more red seats around here and
Yeah.
getting a whole crew on here, because
Right.
that's ultimately that's what it takes. And to and you could do it, you know, as we mentioned earlier, a skeleton crew and doing all that. But guys, it looks like we're just about out of time. So I just want to thank you for your time this evening. Thank you for coming out. You're always welcome to,
Thank you,
volunteer on the show, be a part of it. So thanks again. I'm looking forward to your episodes. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. Well, that wraps it up for members only today. If you'd like to see more about any of the shows we've talked about, you can look for them at CMAC's channels, Comcast 93, as well as AT&T channel 99. If you don't have either one of those, you can go to www.cmac.tv on our website to watch the live streaming from our channels. Thanks again to Kayla Moon, Alvin, Areizaga, and Anita Fernandez. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.